News at 5 in association with Accoland Amusement Park, Annapurna Foods, Junior Holics, and Bisfarm Biscuits.
Relentless search and rescue operations continue at None disaster site. 8 bodies recovered today, 3 more located. Number of deceased goes up to 30. Army brings in special gadgets to locate missing persons in None. Rescue operations to continue until last missing person is found. Bodies of deceased in None landslide brought to Assam and Sikkim. Government well-wishers flock to pay last respects. Slight improvement in Assam flood situation. At least 14 flood-related casualties in last 36 hours. Government working round the clock to tackle crisis. And Prime Minister Narendra Modi chairs key BJP National Executive meeting in Hyderabad. Chief Ministers and Deputy Chief Ministers of all BJP-ruled states attend meet. All right, viewers, so we start the bulletin with all the updates from the incident site of the massive landslide in Manipur. So, viewers, a total of 8 more bodies have been recovered from the landslide site at Tupul in None district, taking the total number of bodies retrieved to 27. While 3 more bodies have been located and are being retrieved around 33 persons are still feared trapped under the debris, and the chances of survival are very slim, admitted authorities. Well, of the 27 bodies recovered so far, 21 are that of Territorial Army personnel. And for the latest update from the operation site, we are being joined by our Chief of Bureau, Arindam Das. All right, now I'm being joined live with our Chief of Bureau, Arindam Das, who is right there at ground zero to give us all the latest. So, Arindam, relentless search and rescue operations underway at this point in time. Well, 8 bodies recovered today. So, what more details you have with you, Arindam? All right. I'm being joined live with our Chief of Bureau, Arindam Das, who is right there at None to give us all the latest updates from ground zero. So, Arindam, relentless search and rescue operations underway at this point in time. You're right there. 8 bodies have been recovered. So, what more details you want to share with our viewers, Arindam?
Nothing I'm hearing.
So, viewers, a total of 8 more bodies have been recovered from the landslide site at Tupul in None district, taking the total number of bodies retrieved to 27. And as I've already mentioned, that 3 more bodies have been located and are being retrieved, and around 33 persons are still feared trapped under the debris. So, viewers, relentless search and operations are underway at this point in time. The NDRF, the NSDRF, they're working relentlessly to retrieve the bodies. And not only the NDRF and SDRF, but the locals are also assisting them to help them. All right. So I'll be connecting to our Chief of Bureau, Arindam Das, in a short while from now. But these are the visuals. These are the latest visuals that you can see on your screens coming in from ground zero. Well, our reporters are there, Sharat Chandra, Arindam Das, to give us all the latest inputs. So, all right. We are trying to connect to our Chief of Bureau, Arindam Das, but this is the latest that we are getting at this point in time. Well, today, 8 bodies have been recovered. All right. All right, viewers, I'm again being joined with our Chief of Bureau, Arindam Das. So, Arindam, today 8 more bodies have been recovered. What more details do you have to share with our viewers here right there at ground zero, Arindam?
Yes, after say about half an hour, the search operation for today will also be called off because nightfall is about to start in about say half an hour. So in the night hours, the rescue and search operations will be suspended. But during the final hours of this search and rescue operation today, three more bodies have been located amidst the debris, and they are yet to be retrieved. Uh, I can ask my camera person Nova Muktia to show exactly where these bodies have been located. Three more bodies. So the total number of bodies recovered with this three will be going up to 30. And initially on the first day itself, 18 people were recovered alive, and after that only bodies are being recovered. And right now also, I can tell that the search and rescue operation is underway, but it will be called off for the day after some time. And sometime back, if you can see in the visuals, we have seen that the NDRF and SDRF personnel there downstream near the river, they have there was a lot of activity. We saw them running towards that river bank, and we have got to know that one more body probably has been spotted floating on the in the river. So that's why all the NDRF and SDRF personnel went there searching for that another body. So if one more body is recovered, so the total number of bodies recovered will be 31. As of now we cannot give a confirmation that this is a body which has been recovered, but yes, we have seen that this NDRF and SDRF personnel rushing towards the spot, and after that they took that rubber boat and went in the river searching for that body. If our camera person can zoom in actually whether it's a body or something else that has been spotted, but looking at the activities we can say that another body has been recovered even as we speak, and it was found floating in the river, and that's why we have seen the NDRF and SDRF personnel running towards the spot. So officially we don't have any confirmation, but from the distance of about 400 meters we can say that yes, they have also the people there on ground, they have talked to the people here up the hill. They say that yes, body suspected body is seen floating in that area, and that's why they have gone. We have to wait for some time to get the confirmation about the recovery of the last body of today. But for the entire day, again it was a hectic search and rescue operation, relentless search and rescue operation carried out by the NDRF, SDRF, and Army personnel. In fact, we have been told by the authorities that the Indian Army has flown in a high-tech gadget from Kashmir, and it is known as True Wall Radar. So that that gadget can detect anybody buried at the depth of up to 20 meters. So that gadget has also been flown in from Kashmir, as we have been told by the non-ADC H. Guite, and he has said that that will also be utilized to locate people, because the chances are very thin. In fact, the DC of None has told us that the chances of finding anybody alive right now is almost nil, because there are no chances of any air pockets where people can be found alive, and time is running by, and today is the third day, and without food and water, if somebody has also survived under the debris, he might have collapsed anytime. So the chances of finding anybody alive is very thin right now, but the DC has told us that the search and rescue operation will continue until and unless the last person is retrieved from the debris. So that is a clear instruction which the district administration has got regarding this entire search and rescue operation. But yes, I can right now officially say that 30 people in total have been recovered, their dead bodies have been recovered, and 18 people are recovered or are alive on the first day. And right now also, if another body, if we have to believe what activity is going on below, if another body is recovered, so the total number of dead bodies recovered will be 31. Back to you.
All right, Arindam Dal. So these are the live visuals coming in from Tupul in None district. And as our Chief of Bureau, Arindam Das has very clearly mentioned that a body has been spotted on the river, and the NDRF and the SDRF team, they are working relentlessly. As you can see on your screens, well, these are live visuals coming in from Tupul in None district. Our reporters are right there to give us all the details. And so Arindam, my question to you. So, look, till how many days will the rescue and search operations might continue? Any information on that, Arindam?
Yes, that's right. I have specifically asked that question to the DC of None, Mr. H. Guite, as to how long will this massive search and rescue operation continue. He said that the search and rescue operation will continue until and unless the last person who is uh, suspected to be missing in this debris is traced, located, and retrieved from the debris. So the search and rescue operation is going to be long now, because today is the third day, and on the third day only 30 bodies have been recovered. So another, say, the 35 people are still fear trapped under the debris, and to find those 30 people in this huge debris would be a mammoth task. But on the ground, there are over 400 personnel, which includes Army personnel, NDRF personnel, SDRF personnel, the locals who are assisting the rescue and search operations, and also an amateur Manipur Mountaineering Association, which has also come ahead with a helping hand to assist in the rescue operation. So on the ground, over 400 rescue workers are working relentlessly. They are working relentlessly and also risking their lives, because we have seen since day one that fresh landslides taking place, rocks are falling down from the mountain, the mud coming down in large quantity, and they are right now working on that line of that rocks rolling down, mud sliding. So they're risking their lives to locate whoever is right now trapped in under this debris. But it is going to be a mammoth task, because if my camera person can show you that this entire mountain has caved in when this massive landslide took place, and it's very difficult as to where to search for this 35 missing people right now, because it's a huge area. It's almost a radius of 1 to 2 kilometer area where this debris is spread. So specifically where that search and rescue operation is going to be a mammoth task. But yes, as we have been told, that sophisticated gadgets has been brought in by the army to locate people deep inside the debris. So if that becomes operational or functional, some more bodies are likely to be recovered tomorrow. And today, after some time, as you can see, darkness has already started coming down. So in the night hours, the rescue and search operations will be suspended, and it will continue with the first light tomorrow morning.
So big tasks ahead for the NDRF and SDRF team, as you have mentioned that 35 more bodies are yet to be retrieved from that area, Arindam. And as you've already mentioned that special gadgets has been brought in by the Indian Army. So are they using those special gadgets today during the search and rescue operations, Arindam?
Well, yes. Let's our viewers stay with the visuals as I narrate as to what you have asked, because there is still some development taking place there down in that river. Because one suspected body is seen to be floating in that river. So, talking about the special gadget, it's called through wall radar. So, it is basically used by the NSD commandos and the army to locate people who might be coming through tunnels, or locate people behind 2 3 rooms. So this is basically on thermal imaging and other techniques that has been used by the army to locate people. But this what we have come to know, that these gadgets are usually used for for monitoring the activity of live people. If the dead bodies are buried here, so the thermal sensors will not be able to pick up the heat from that bodies, and that would be a difficult task. Even that gadget might not work, but we have to wait and see, because today we haven't seen the army using those gadgets. Maybe from tomorrow they will be starting using those gadgets, and how far they will be able to attain success by using those gadgets and locating people who are buried deep under this debris. This debris, I can tell you, in fact the authorities have also confirmed to us that the bodies which might be buried under this debris, it would be under, say, 20 to 10 meters beneath this rocks and soil. So even to excavate 20 meters into this debris and retrieving it would be an uphill task. So yes, all efforts are on right now. All gadgets are in, and the search and rescue operation still continues, and it will be continuing, as the DC of None has told us, till the last person who is suspected to be missing in this debris is located and is being retrieved from this debris. Back to you.
All right, Arindam Das, thank you so much for all those details. And earlier in the afternoon, our Chief of Bureau Arindam Das also spoke to None DC H. Gyute for the latest updates on the rescue operations. DC Gyute informed that the rescue operations will continue till the last body is recovered.
We have with us the DC of None district, Mr. H. Gute. Well, today is the third day of the rescue and search operation. What is the progress so far?
Progress could have been better had it not been for the unfortunate rains that keep coming and hampering the progress work. Because, as you can see in the ground right now, this ground is also shifting. So we do not know how safe and stable this place is as well. However, we have been able to recover six more bodies as of now, and one is reported as also recovered. We are yet to confirm. So in total, we have 27 or 26 or 27 bodies recovered, combined together with yesterday and day before yesterday. And we will continue our operations until dark. After nightfall, both NDRF and SDRF experts, the specialists, have advised that we should not continue during the nighttime because of the dangerous terrain and the conditions here. So we will be resuming it tomorrow again around 4 o'clock. um, Full support we have gotten with the guidance of and leadership of the Honorable Chief Minister of Manipur Sri and Biren Singh, and also lots of honorable ministers are also sending relief materials and other things. CSOs and local organizations, they are also sending the relief materials, and we are also getting lots of manpower support from the locals as well. In total, we have more than 470 persons who are currently involved in the search and rescue efforts.
So, what is the breakup right now? How many people recovered alive? How many people recovered dead? And out of those, how many are from the army and how many are civilians?
18 of them are injured right now. They are injured and still alive and are treated in Delhi, in Imphal, in various hospitals in Imphal. Out of the total number of deaths, 27 deaths that we have so far, most of them are from the territorial army, and some are civilians, but we have not been able to identify what type of civilians they are, whether they are cooks or workers helping the railway construction or any other thing. But there are still five locals who are missing, which we are taking extra efforts to try to identify them.
So, how are you moving ahead with the rescue operation? Since it looks like a mammoth task, the area is huge. How are you pinpointing that you have to carry out the search operation in this particular location for the missing people?
The army has flown in, with the support of the army, they have flown in from Jammu as special equipment, special radar equipment that can detect dead bodies up to a depth of 20 meters. And using that equipment, they have been able to identify, according to them, six bodies. Six bodies have been identified using that technology. Otherwise, it's getting increasingly difficult because most of the bodies that are in shallow ground, they have been recovered. The rest of them are expected to be at deeper level.
What is the depth?
We cannot exactly ascertain it. It's different depths, but it's increasing in depth, so it'll go to beyond like 10 meters easily from now.
Well, the latest recovery of the bodies, is it made through this?
We're yet to ascertain that report.
And as day is ticking by, so how are the chances of finding anybody alive right now?
Chances are, according to NDRF, the chances are very, very slim. It's almost zero because food and water is missing. And besides, there are no air pockets that can form because it's a landslide. It's not like an avalanche or some people being trapped. Unfortunately, there are no major concrete structures also where air pockets can be formed. Most of these are makeshift structures. So chances are negligible.
How long do you feel that this operation will continue?
We will continue as long until we find all the bodies, and that is the instruction we receive from the state government. But we are hoping that we'll be able to recover all the bodies sooner than later. As of now, 36 or 37 bodies are still missing, yet to be recovered.
Thank you very much. That was the DC of None District, Mr. H. Guite, speaking exclusively to Northeast Live. Reporting from None, this is Arindam Das for Northeast Live.
Well, Northeast Live also spoke to Pankaj Kavidayal, the commandant of 12th NDRF Battalion, who spoke in detail about the rescue operations. Listen in.
We have with us the commandant of 12th NDRF Battalion, Mr. Pankaj Kavidya. What are the challenges you are facing in this massive search and rescue operation?
See, though the frontage of this landslide is just 300 meters, but it when it went down, it has become almost more than a kilometer frontage. So finding or pinpointing a place where bodies can be found is very difficult. Therefore, we have requested state authorities to employ more excavators, and state has been kind enough to mobilize resources from railways and other agencies. So now the search process is going on smoothly.
Now, the weather is also a challenge because even as we are speaking, we can see that it has started raining.
If it rains, definitely it will be a big challenge to retrieve bodies, because in that case sand will become more sticky, and it will hamper the search process of from manually, and it will affect movement of these excavators also. So we pray to god that weather remains rainless. Let's see.
If it rains, there are chances of fresh landslides also.
Even before rains there are still chances of landslide, because you see this whole area, the debris on which we are standing is a landslide debris. So and you can see the crack also. Morning there was a trigger on upside hill of Tupul railway station. So chances are still there of fresh landslide, but since now there is no population, no loss of life is expected.
Meanwhile, fresh landslides were earlier reported from Dupul in Manipur's None district, severely disrupted rescue operations. And it has been 3 days today since the catastrophic landslide, but intermittent rains have come as a major hindrance in the ongoing search and rescue operations this morning. Authorities have asked rescue workers to move with caution as chances of more landslides has not been ruled out. However, the biggest concern is that 36 people are still missing and fear trapped under debris. Clearly, it's a race against time for the rescue workers engaged in the operations, which are being monitored by the top civil and army authorities. And 18 others are currently in the hospital, out of which 13 are army men. Notably, IG of Assam Rifles East informed that thorough will rather reach from Leh for the rescue operations. Besides, more than 20 excavators were reportedly pressed to service in digging out the debris. An additional NDRF team from Nagaland joined the rescue operations, while another team of NDRF has been sent from Silchar. Well, the Indian Army has brought in highly sophisticated equipments to aid in the ongoing search and rescue operation at the Tupul landslide site in Manipur. With rescuers racing against time searching for the missing persons, the Indian Army has turned to the True World Imaging Radar, a device developed by the Defense Research and Development Organization, or DRDO, in India. The True World Imaging Radar, also called Divya Chakshu or the Divine Eye, is being used for searching missing people under the multitude of debris at the Tupul landslide site in None. Well, Divya Chakshu is the Indian name of a handheld portable true world imaging radar system that has been developed by Electronics and Radar Development Establishment, a Bangalore based laboratory of the DRDO. The machine is a sensor used for detection and location of static and moving targets, especially humans behind walls, and was initially developed to help the Indian Armed Forces in hostage rescue operations. Well, it has a detection range of minimum 20 meters through obstacles like concrete and brick walls, wood, even under rain and humid conditions. Well, it can also be operated on a tripod and even remotely. And at Tupul, the radar is being used to detect human presence under the mud pile. Meanwhile, the mortal remains of Army Jawan Jiarul Haq has been brought to his native village in Assam's Borpeta district. Scores of people gathered as Jiarul's mortal remains were received by his bereaved family members. Well, Jiarul's wife stood by the body with his infant child in her arms. Cabinet Minister Ranjit Kumar Das was also present during the arrival of the body and paid floral tributes to the departed braveheart. Later, Jiarul was given a state funeral today.
অসম চৰকাৰৰ হৈ মই শেষ শ্ৰদ্ধা জ্ঞাপন কৰিবলৈ আহিছোঁ আৰু এই শেষ শ্ৰদ্ধা জ্ঞাপন কৰা প্ৰাক মুহূৰ্তত মাননীয় মুখ্যমন্ত্ৰী ডক্টৰ হিমন্ত বিশ্ব শৰ্মা ডাঙৰীয়াৰ লগত মই টেলিফোন যোগে আলাপ কৰিছিলোঁ যে এওঁলোকৰ পৰিয়ালক আমি কিবা সহায় কৰিব পৰা কিবা ৰাস্তা আছে নেকি। যিহেতু তেওঁ আৰ্মি বিভাগত যিহেতু কাম কৰিছিলে নিশ্চিতভাৱে আৰ্মিৰ পৰা যি কৰিবলগীয়া আছে সেইটো কৰিব আৰু তেখেতে যিহেতু ডিজাষ্টাৰ মেনেজমেণ্ট ভূমিস্খলনৰ যিহেতু মৃত্যু হৈছে নিশ্চিত ওপৰত মণিপুৰ চৰকাৰৰ কিছু কৰণীয়তা থাকিব। তথাপি মাননীয় মুখ্যমন্ত্ৰী ডাঙৰীয়া অসম চৰকাৰৰ হৈ পেলাই 5 লাখ টকা তেওঁলোকৰ পৰিয়ালৰ এককালীন সাহায্য আগবঢ়াইছে। কিন্তু আমি ভাবোঁ যে আগন্তুক দিনত আমি সমাজৰ লগত বা আমিও লগ লাগি পেলাই আগন্তুক দিনত কেনেকুৱাকৈ সহায় কৰিব পাৰোঁ নিশ্চিত ওপৰত এই পৰিয়ালৰ লগত আমি থাকিম। কাৰণ সেনা বিভাগত কাম কৰা মানে ভাৰত মাতৃৰ হৈ পেলাই তেওঁ কাম কৰিছিলে আৰু সেইগৰাকী ব্যক্তিৰ দুগৰাকীকৈ কণ কণ শিশু আছে, এগৰাকী 3 বছৰীয়া 3মহীয়া। গতিকে আমাৰ চৰকাৰৰ ওপৰত সামাজিক দায়িত্ব নিশ্চিত ওপৰত আছে। আমি আগন্তুক দিন এই পৰিয়ালৰ লগত অসম চৰকাৰ থাকিম।
And time for a very short break now. Stay tuned. I'll be right back.
To keep you ahead. Evening Prime, every day at 7 p.m.
जाएंगे हम वहां जहां की हर खबर छू जाती है और दिखाएंगे वो जो रहता है आपकी नजरों से उझट। पहुंचेंगे हम पूर्वोत्तर के हर कोने में
Naga political issues.
नॉर्थ ईस्ट की हर खबर से आपको कराएंगे रूबरू।
एक पूरा पहाड़ नीचे आके रास्ते में जो भी आया उसको दबा के चला गया।
नमस्कार, समाचार नॉर्थ में आपका स्वागत है। मैं हूं कविता, स्टूडियो में मैं हूं दुर्मेश,
मैं हूं रविंद्र चौहान,
मैं रश्मि प्रिया शर्मा, मैं नश्विता महल।
समाचार नॉर्थ ईस्ट हर शाम 6 बजे।
Northeast Live.
Welcome back. You're watching Northeast Live and continuing with the top focus this evening, viewers. Well, the mortal remains of Army Jawan Balaram Sharma arrived in Assam's Haflong today. Sharma's mortal remains were received by his grief-stricken relatives. Well, a guard of honor was also given to the deceased Army Jawan after his body reached Haflong. After that, the body was taken to his house in Umrangsu, where the last rites were performed. Well, scores of people gathered at a procession in Govindanagar from his house till the crematorium. Meanwhile, our colleague Swadip Hazimsa was also present in Haflong when Sharma's body was brought from Manipur, where he talked to some of Sharma's relatives.
इस वक्त हम पहुंचे हैं उमरौस में और हम यही बताना चाहेंगे कि दिमा हसाओं में दो व्यक्ति जो है, दो जवान हमारे जो इस मणिपुर का जो लैंडस्लाइड में जो हादसा उनमें से एक था कि बलराम शर्मा। तो बलराम शर्मा इस वक्त उमरौसों का उसका घर में पहुंचे और रैली के लिए उसको रवाना किया जा रहा है। और यहाँ पर आप देख सकते हैं कि पूरी भीड़ लगा हुआ है, लोग पूरा उमरावसो के लोग निकल के आए हैं इनको एक झलक देखने पाया, फिर एक बार अंतिम उनको छूने के लिए उन बलराम को, क्योंकि बलराम ऐसा था कि यहाँ पे उनकी यहाँ पर उनका सभी के साथ एक बहुत अच्छा लगाव था, बहुत अच्छा रिश्ता था। अब उनका एक दोस्त रहा होगा बलराम का, वो कैसा था व्यक्ति?
अरे बहुत अच्छा, सबसे अच्छा व्यवहार, सभी से मतलब मिलजुल के रहना, उसका बहुत ठीक था। स्पोर्ट भी बहुत अच्छा, स्पोर्ट में भी बहुत अच्छा था, बहुत सही था आदमी। सबसे छोटा वही था घर का।
ये था उनका दोस्त, तो उन्होंने बताया कि बहुत अच्छा इंसान था वो। और ये है और भी हमारे साथ मौजूद है कि हम इन लोगों से भी पट्टी के जानने की कोशिश करते हैं। दादा, आपने बलराम को छोटा से देखा है, बचपन से देखा है, कैसा था वो?
वो बहुत अच्छा लड़का था, शांत स्वभाव का लड़का था। हम लोग सोचा नहीं कि वो आर्मी में जाएगा, मगर वो 2014 में किया। इसके बाद में उन्होंने बहुत स्ट्रगल करा। घर तो पूजा पे आया था, वो पूजा पे आया था, दुर्गा पूजा पे आया था,
लास्ट दुर्गा पूजा।
हाँ, अब उस आधा घंटा ही ड्यूटी था बोल के मैंने सुना था। आधा घंटे के बाद में उसका ड्यूटी ऑफ होता रहा।
अच्छा,
पर क्या करे अब, उन्हीं को कौन रोक सकता है।
बलराम को प्यार देने के लिए, उनको एक झलक छूने के लिए, एक बार देखने के लिए, अंतिम विदा देने के लिए लोग अपने अपने घरों से निकल के आए हैं।
Meanwhile, we have reactions from CEM of North Kachar Hills Autonomous District Council, Debalal Garlosa.
जो ये जो हुआ है घटना, तो बहुत दुख का बात है। लैंडस्लाइड पे अपना देश के लिए वो ड्यूटी में ऑन ड्यूटी में हुआ था। तो अभी सुनने में मिला है हम लोग का ये उमरांग चुका है, और एक भी मैं अभी कशीपुर में जाके मिल के आया, उनका परिवार से अभी भी मिसिंग है। बहुत दुख का बात है, और इसमें तो हम लोग क्या हुआ कैसे हुआ नहीं बोल नहीं सकता है, लेकिन बहुत दुख का बात है। और हम लोग का तरफ से भी जितना सब सरकार का तरफ से भी हम लोग साथ में देगा, उनका जो परिवार लोग थे सब मिलकर भी आया, वही हमारा सब। हाँ, 2 ही खबर मिला, लेकिन एक भी क्या हुआ है अभी भी मिसिंग है, 3 दिन से लापता है। लेकिन शायद वहाँ पे ही था, लेकिन अभी क्या हुआ नहीं है अभी तक बोल नहीं सकता है, लेकिन उनका घर का तरफ से मिला है।
And we also have reactions coming in from Assam Cabinet Minister Nandita Garlusa.
दूसरे के लिए एक एग्जाम्पल होना था। इन दुर्घटना का बात है कि इन लोगों का इस सिचुएशन पे वो लोग लॉस लाइफ होना पड़ा। जब आर्मी में है तो उन लोगों का देयर लाइव्स आर ऑलवेज फॉर द नेशन। ये भी एक पार्ट का नेशन है, बट देन दे वुड हैव बीन मोर अच्छा होना था उन लोगों का हिसाब से। लाइक उनका पिताजी माताजी से हम बात किया था, उन लोगों का हिसाब से तो लाइक फॉर द कंट्री चला गया है। इट्स अ सैड डे फॉर अस। बहुत ही कम जाता है और इसमें भी ऐसे दुर्घटना में चला गया है। ग्रेट लॉस फॉर अस।
Meanwhile, Assam Cabinet Minister Piyush Hazarika spoke exclusively to Northeast Live Chief of Bureau Arindam Das, wherein he informed that 7 workers from Assam are dead, while 5 have been rescued and 13 remain missing. He added that the mortal remains will be brought to Assam tomorrow.
as I got a report from the construction company who brought laborers from Assam, they brought 23 laborers. They had 23 persons from Assam, and out of them, seven already declared dead. Five were rescued, and 11 are missing. And one another railway officials from Gulukganj area, he's also missing. And one another person engaged in one another construction company, he's from Lamding, also missing. That way, so far, from Assam, seven, seven person is died, five is rescued, five were rescued, and 13 are still missing. Rescue operation is going on. We are also monitoring. Our CM is talking to me or talking to officials uh, in a very serious manner. Just now, he has ordered me to arrange to uh, so that we can send back our dead bodies or rescued persons. So we'll do on that. From tomorrow, we'll be able to send our rescued person or the bodies. From tomorrow, it will be started.
Well, the deceased include Dipankar Bordaloy, Pallab Harmohan Deka, all hailing from Assam's Morigao, and Gopal Phukon of Lahori Ghat. Well, meanwhile, there has been no trace of Raju Ali, a worker of Assam who was stationed in None.
ৰমজান মাহৰ ঈদত আহিছিল, তাৰপিছত এমাহমান থাকি তেওঁ আৰু তালৈ গুচি গৈছিল। যোগাযোগটো মানে পৰহি ৰাতি কথা পাতিছিলোঁ, তাৰ পৰা ফোন চুইচ অফ পাই আছোঁ, ফোন লগা নাই। মণিপুৰ মানে ননে জিলাত ত্ৰিপুৰাত থাকে। অসম চৰকাৰক অনুৰোধ জনাইছোঁ যাতে তেওঁক অতি সোনকালে উদ্ধাৰ কৰে। লগতে মণিপুৰ চৰকাৰকো মই অনুৰোধ জনাইছোঁ তেওঁক যাতে অতি সোনকালে উদ্ধাৰ কৰি দিয়া হয়। অতি সোনকালে চলটো যেতি আছে তেনেকৈ উদ্ধাৰ কৰি আনি আগত দিব লাগে। মই অসম চৰকাৰক অনুৰোধ কৰি কৈছোঁ, মণিপুৰ চৰকাৰক অনুৰোধ কৰি কৈছোঁ, আল্লাহ যেতি আছে তেনেকৈ উদ্ধাৰ কৰি উলিয়াই দিব লাগে। দুটা তাত বালা বাচ্চা আছে সৰু সৰু।
Meanwhile, the mortal remains of the 11 Gorkha bravehearts were flown home today. The mortal remains arrived at the Bagdogra airport in two separate flights. The first flight landed at Bagdogra with the mortal remains of 6 Jawans in the morning, and the second arrived later with the mortal remains of the other 5 Jawans. After wreath-laying ceremony at the airport, the bodies were sent off to their respective homes for their last rites. Well, out of the 11 Gorkha bravehearts, 10 were flown home to Darjeeling, and the mortal remains of Lieutenant Shering Lepcha is now being taken to his residence in North Sikkim. Meanwhile, the mortal remains of Lieutenant Naik Shering Lepcha reached the gateway of Rangpo in Sikkim. Lepcha hails from Zongo in North Sikkim, and his body is being taken to his native place where his last rites would be performed. Meanwhile, among the deceased in the tragic Noni landslide incident is Sanjoy Devnath, hailing from Tripura. The body of Devnath, an army trooper, was recovered from the debris at the site of the massive landslide. Devnath hailed from Bishalgarh in Tripura's Sipahijala district. Meanwhile, the state government has expressed condolences at the death of the braveheart. So, what could be the reasons behind the devastating landslide? Well, Northeast Live correspondent Sharat Chandra caught up with Professor N. Deva Singh, Department of Geography, Manipur University, who said that multiple reasons could be behind the tragic landslide, which has claimed several lives so far. According to Professor Singh, one of the main reasons could be due to heavy rainfall, as Tupul area in None falls under southwest monsoon, which is prone to heavy rainfall. Another reason could be the prolonged exposure of soil without any vegetation, which renders the soil prone to landslides whenever the area receives heavy rainfall. So, viewers, let's listen in now to the full conversation with Professor and Deva Singh.
With me is Professor N. Deva Singh, Department of Geography, Manipur University. So, very, very good afternoon, sir. Sir, just my simple question is what could be the reason behind the Tupul massive landslide? Is it due to the heavy rainfall or is it any kind of influence of geo-environmental factor?
There may be many factors, you see. Uh, Geo-environmental factors means you see the structurally, there may be weak, that geological matters, I mean to say. And then there is a slope concern, and there may be a land use type, because projects is continuing, and people who are there, they have, that do, they have done agriculture work, and then the soil, other things exposed, and are not, I would say, take visitations of the area. You see the point. Then, most important is rainfall. You see, the western side is not that we are getting uh, more rainfall than other part because of southwest monsoons during the season. So then another point is that I should say that how far it is true, I don't know. We have to see the record. If there's a minor tremor, I mean, the earthquake, that we may not feel that a minor tremor, but simultaneously, if the tremor was there, then could be one of the factor to contribute, you see. So these factors might be responsible of that. And then most important is that suppose if there is no rain, then landslide may not occur, you see, may not be there. And then if project work or what you call that, some development work, road, widening of the road or some other things are not there, then yes, landslide may not be there. So there's again questions because of rain, the rivers flowing down, now there may be erosions of that. So people are talking about the two erosion, this and that. Naturally, if it's so, then from above there will be gravity, that. So CPS will develop, and then landslide may occur. You see the point. So all these factors may contribute. So most important, I should say that weakness of the area, that is a fault line, and then heavy rainfall. Then third most important is that anthropogenic factors, maybe the project work or maybe some other regions, how people, that use the land covers, that. This is the point.
So my another question is we already gone across many of the villages, but very particularly from the site. This is the first time they have witnessed this kind of massive landslide in Manipur. So do you think earlier we didn't witness, but nowadays we are, as a first case, we are witnessing in this Tupul massive landslide. So do you think that such kind of massive landslide can be occurred in Manipur?
Yes, I think. If you see, if there are settlements, if the people who are there, they degrade the area, the forest area, and also simultaneously, maybe the approach road or some other things may be uh, taken off. Then in that case, if we don't take care in any hilly area of the Manipur, since this area, our state is a rain-fed area during the monsoon, that during the rainy season, landslide may occur. We have to take care.
All right, viewers, we will keep track on the updates concerning the landslide tragedy in None. But now let us look at another natural calamity that has struck Northeast, the floods in Assam. Well, even though there has been a slight improvement in the overall flood scenario in the state, 30 districts are still reeling in flood waters. Of these, close to 2,500 villages are inundated. It may also be mentioned here that at least 14 flood-related casualties have been reported in the last 36 hours, taking the overall death tally to 155. And these are the visuals of flood-ravaged village in Jonai. The village located in Bera, Chapri, Tarimaj has been inundated since months now. Things have come to such a pass that people are facing a shortage of drinking water now.
হ'ল আৰু ডুবি থকা নৈ পানী নহয় এইটো খালি বৰষুণৰ পানী এতিয়া লেট্ৰিন বাথৰুম মানে পানী খোৱা পানীৰ কাৰণে বহুত অসুবিধা আছে লগতে এতিয়া কি হ'ল পানীটো জাম হৈ কিনে বিষাক্ত হৈ গৈছে ইয়াত এতিয়া মোৰ হাঁহ আছিলে প্ৰায় 45টামান হাঁহ আছিলে চব মৰিলে তাৰপৰা তাৰ উপৰি কি হৈছে এতিয়া মাছবোৰ নিজে নিজে মৰিছে এতিয়া যদি আমাক মানে বেলেগকে সুবিধাটো দিছে এবাৰে অকল আমি ৰিলিফটো পালোঁ ৰিলিফটো পোৱা নোপোৱা আমাৰ কোনো হেৰি নাই কিন্তু যদি আমাক বিশেষকৈ এইটো গাইডবানটোৰ পৰা পানীটো বাহিৰত পেলাই দিব পাৰে আমাৰ কাৰণে মানে বহুত ভাল হ'ব
যেনে তেনে চলি আছোঁ পানী খাবলৈ পানী নাই বৰষুণৰ পানী আমি এৰি পাতি চৰিয়া পাতি বৰষুণৰ পানীটোৱে আমি ফিল্টাৰ কৰি খাই আছোঁ ইমান দিন 2 মাহ 3 মাহ আমি পানী লেতেৰা পানীত কাৰোবাৰ লেট্ৰিনৰ কিবা আছে কাৰোবাৰ টিউবৱেলে ডুবি গ'ল খাবলৈ কিমান অসুবিধা হৈ আছে টিউবৱেল এটা দিলেওতো হ'লে হয় বা 5 ঘৰ 6 ঘৰ একটা টিউবৱেল দিলেওতো ভাল আছিলে
And even as flood situation has improved in Hailakandi, people are still suffering a great deal. National Highway 6 in Hailakandi continues to remain inundated. Thaleshwar Point, which is the entry point to the district, continues to remain submerged. Well, the Thaleshwar-Hailakandi highway has been blocked for more than 24 hours now. Moreover, scarcity of cooking gas in the district has led to hike in prices of the essential commodity.
রাস্তাটো বন্ধ আছে তো এখানে যাব লাগে তো আহি নাৱে নালাগে এতিয়া তো জল কমি আছে তো বান ক্ৰছ কৰি যাব লাগে তো নিশ্চিতভাৱে এখন স্থানীয় মথাউৰি দি খোজকাঢ়ি যাব লাগে তাৰমানে কি হৈছে হাইলাকান্দিতো যোগাযোগ ব্যৱস্থা স্তব্ধ হৈ পৰিছে এতিয়া অলপমান পানী কমিছে তথাপি আৰু গাড়ী আহিব পৰা অৱস্থাত নাই সেইকাৰণে যিখিনি আৰু পানী আছে বানপানী সেই পানীৰ মানে সাহায্য লৈ এই চিলিণ্ডাৰকেইটা পাৰ কৰা হৈছে চিলিণ্ডাৰৰ গাড়ীকেইটা সোমাব পৰা নাই হাইলাকান্দিত সেইটো কাৰণে এই মানে পদ্ধতি অৱলম্বন কৰিছে তেওঁলোকে নাই কোনে কৈছে দাম পাইছে কোন এজেঞ্চি এইটো এলপিজি ইয়াতে ওচৰতে আছে আৰু ইফালেও পানী আছে দেখা নাই ইফালে নাই খালি ইপিনে আছে
Well, just as flood situation in Assam's Gopur improving, but it seems there is no end to the people's woes. Many of the roads in Gopur have no signs now. Communication has been largely affected after a concrete culvert in Kekuri village in Jalupari was washed away. As a result, people are made to swim across or take boats to commute from one place to another, as swelling waters of Balijan River has caused havoc.
বহুত অসুবিধা তোমার এখানে ঘাইপথ বুলি ক'ব পাৰি যেহেতু আমি মানে গহপুৰৰ অহা যোৱা এইখন ৰাস্তাই আমাৰ আৰু এইখন কালভাৰ লগত আৰু অকণমান একফালমো যাব নালাগে আৰু এখন কালভাৰো ভাঙি শেষ হৈ গ'ল গতিকে আমি যাতায়াতত বহুত কষ্ট পাইছোঁ ডেলিভাৰী মানুহ বেমাৰ আজাৰ ইত্যাদি ৰেচন চাউল সমবায় আনিবলৈ আমাৰ সমস্যা হৈছে এতিয়া সমবায়লৈ যাবলৈ এটা উপায় নাই নাৱৰ বুৰখন আমি ৰাইজে বনাইছোঁ বুলিহে মানে কোনো পধ্য অহা যোৱা নাও নাই আমাৰ নাৱৰ কোনো ব্যৱস্থা নাই কিমান মানুহ অহা যোৱা কৰিব ডেইলি 4-5শ মানুহ ডেইলি আপ ডাউন কৰে এইটো ৰাস্তাত
গাঁওবুঢ়াৰ লগতো কৰিছোঁ আমি চবৰ লগতে কৰিছোঁ আজি ইমান প্ৰব্লেম চলি আছে আমাৰ এই ৰাস্তাটো বেয়া হৈ গ'ল তাতো ভাঙিলে এতিয়া এইটো মাথাউৰিটো ভাঙিলে আকৌ ইফালে কালভাৰটো সোমাই গ'ল একোৱেই নাই আমাৰ এতিয়া যাবৰ কাৰণে মই ফোন কৰি আছোঁ বিধায়কে ফোন নুঠায় ৰিচিভে নকৰে
আমাৰতো বহুত অসুবিধা হৈ আছে গতিকে ল'ৰা ছোৱালীও পাৰ কৰিব পৰা নাই স্কুললৈ অহা যোৱাটো স্কুললৈ আনিব পৰা নাই স্কুল বা স্কুলত যেনে তেনে নাও দি আনো আৰু ঘৰত এতিয়া নিবলৈ কেতিয়াবা নাওটো সেইফালে থাকে কেতিয়াবা সেইফালে থাকে ল'ৰা ছোৱালীকে আধা ঘণ্টা 1 ঘণ্টা হেৰি কৰিব লাগে
বহুত বিপদজনক
বহুত বিপদ হৈ আছে আমাৰ
ঘৰবিলাকৰ অৱস্থা কেনেকুৱা
ঘৰবিলাকৰ অৱস্থাটো কিবা বহুতে বেয়া হৈ আছে কিবা উতুলাই নি গৈছে বেৰ চেৰ ভাঙি নি গৈছে
And shifting focus now. Well, the 2-day national executive meeting of the BJP is underway in Hyderabad. Prime Minister Narendra Modi is chairing the all-crucial meet of the Saffron Party with elections to a number of states in the horizon. Union Home Minister Amit Shah, BJP National President JP Nadda, Chief Ministers of as many as 19 states are also attending the National Executive meeting. It needs to be mentioned here, this is the first physical meeting of the BJP's key decision-making body outside the national capital after a gap of 5 years and the third in a southern state after coming to power in 2014. Moreover, the BJP is holding its national executive meet in Hyderabad after a gap of 18 years. Expected to be on the discussion table are issues related to the Saffron Party's performance in the assembly elections in 5 states earlier this year. Apart from that, the party pan-Indian expansion, BJP's intent to form government in states in which its growth has been stalled by regional hiccups, and the electoral preparations for the upcoming general elections are the topics that are likely to dominate the agenda of the executive meet. Moving on now. A SpiceJet aircraft operating from Delhi to Jabalpur returned safely to the Delhi airport today morning after the crew noticed smoke in the cabin while passing 5,000 feet. Passengers safely disembarked, said a SpiceJet spokesperson. Well, the entire cabin was filled with smoke. Some people could not breathe, said the passenger of a Jabalpur-bound SpiceJet flight that returned to Delhi after a crew noticed smoke inside the cabin. While passing 5,000 feet, the flight crew noticed smoke in the cabin while the lavatory smoke alarm went off. Well, the cabin crew immediately informed the cockpit crew, and meanwhile, on a visual check, no sign of smoke or damage was observed. Climbing further, the smoke in the cabin increased, following which a return was initiated. Well, the aircraft landed safely at the Delhi airport. Notably, some children and senior citizens are on board the same flight. Meanwhile, the Directorate General of Civil Aviation, DGCA, has initiated a probe into the incident. And in some other stories now. In what has come as fresh trouble for Alt News co-founder Mohammed Zubair, the Delhi police has brought in fresh charges against him in a case related to the alleged objectionable tweet he had posted in 2018. As per information, the Delhi police has invoked sections 201 causing disappearance of evidence, 120B criminal conspiracy of the Indian Penal Code, and section 35 of the Foreign Contribution Regulation Act or FCRA for allegedly receiving foreign donations. The addition of sections 120B 201 of the IPC and 35 FCRA paves the way for the Enforcement Directorate to lodge a case against Zubair. As Section 120B criminal conspiracy is a scheduled offense, the Financial Probe Agency is now in a position to lodge a case. So far, as part of the ongoing probe, the investigators have confiscated Zubair's mobile phone and recovered a hard disk. Delhi police has alleged that he formatted his mobile phone and deleted certain tweets. A bail application has been filed by Mohammed Zubair's counsel. Notably, Mohammed Zubair was arrested by the Delhi police on 27th of June for allegedly hurting religious sentiments through one of his tweets and was sent to one-day police custody by the trial court on the same day. Well, Delhi police are also looking into the alleged role of Twitter profiles indulging in Twitter storms started by Zubair. The police stated that some of these tweets were recently deleted, but they are working on to find the trail. While taking the centre's guidelines to ban the use of select single-use plastics effective from 1st July 2022 seriously, Tamil Nadu Health Minister Ma Subramanian flagged off a no plastic awareness reverse run at Besant Nagar Beach in Chennai this morning. Well, scores of people participated in the not so conventional run to help fight plastic waste. So, viewers, I'll leave you with the clipping and keep watching Northeast Live. Thanks for watching.